Now, by all accounts, WoW's total population dipped throughout 2021 and 2022 as Final Fantasy XIV finally surpassed WoW as the MMO to play. I'm currently halfway to the level cap, and while I don't know if Dragonflight is going to bring about a personal WoW renaissance, I'm having fun inhabiting the latest landmass that has materialized out of the ether. This is a review in progress. If you want to keep up with it as it updates, go to pcgamer.com. Dragonflight, in both its fiction and its infrastructure, is a soft landing spot for lapsed players. Where the Shadowlands were choked with austere greys and alien blues, the Dragon Isles are pure high fantasy. A tropical, untamed intensity permeates the land. It's pockmarked by splashes of molten lava, ripe swathes of greenery, and luminescent tundras. I've enjoyed the romp so far. There are certain elements of WoW that still feel like they've fallen out of 2004, and those can't be scrubbed away completely. For instance, the combat remains a plodding amalgam of dice rolls, cooldowns, and line-of-sight gambits, with little opportunities for creativity or dexterity offered to the player. But Blizzard has done a good job of retrofitting what it can to keep up with the times. The best example of this is the Evoker, which is the new class introduced in Dragonflight and can only be piloted by a new race of draconic humanoids called the Drakthir. It borrows some cues from modern third-person action games, and this carries over into one of Dragonflight's other marquee new features. Shortly after getting your feet wet in the Isles, the kindly brood of Alexstrasza will bless you with your very own dragon-riding proto-drake. It is, on its face, a flying mount, but dragon-riding mounts are far more dynamic than the ambling, helicopter-like transportation we've been weaned on for decades. With enough deftness, you'll be able to scorch across the continent at blazing speeds. Hit a snag or an awkward turn, and you might quickly plummet to the ground. I've never thought I'd see the day where Blizzard started integrating design choices most commonly found in Forza Horizon into WoW, and while I don't know if I'm in love with the new system yet, it certainly leaves an impression. The other modernizations are far more grounded. Blizzard, at long last, has returned a traditional talent tree to WoW, doing away with the uber-simplified three-pronged scheme introduced back in Mists of Pandaria. It feels really good to level up and slot a point into a matrix, like an open diffusion of ideas between classic and retail, which I hope continues in the future. It also gives us a revamped minimap and fully customizable action frames, all of which borrow heavily from the sorts of mods people were using to augment their WoW client since its very inception. But make no mistake, Dragonflight is still a modern WoW expansion, and if you're coming back to retail in hopes that Blizzard had opted for a full-throated return to its ancestry, you will be disappointed. And a great example of this is the dungeons, which feel like they complete themselves. If WoW's turn to idle game automation has you turned off in the past, you won't find what you're looking for on the Dragon Isles. Dragonflight is beautiful and packed with all sorts of wild new ideas for the MMO, but when I examine my history of WoW, it's clear that the reason I've sunk progressively less time into each of its expansions is that the game now seems to prioritize efficiency over euphoria. I don't need to read the stats on my gear anymore. Everything on the Isles has an item level listed right below its name. If it's higher than whatever I'm currently wearing, I can right-click it and my damage increases by an imperceptible degree. One question keeps eating at the back of my brain. Am I really playing WoW?
Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.